What if I told you that right now, thousands of international students are paying twice what they should for housing in the UK, simply because nobody showed them where to look? And what if I told you there are entire cities in Britain where you can rent a clean, safe, furnished room for less than £400 a month, sometimes even less? Cities most students never even consider. That's what this video is about. And if you are planning to study in the UK, or you already are, and you are drowning in rent, stay with me, because the next 15 minutes could literally save you thousands of pounds. Welcome back to NestPath UK, the channel built for international students who want to live smart, spend less, and build a real life in Britain. And today, we are diving deep into something that has been shifting very fast, right under everybody's noses. The UK student housing market is changing dramatically. And if you don't understand what's happening right now, you are going to make an expensive mistake. Here is what we are covering today. We are talking about why shared apartments have quietly become the single best housing option for low-budget students. We are going to reveal the cheapest cities in the UK where properties still exist between £50,000 and £150,000. We are going to break down the latest mortgage updates that actually affect international students. And I am going to hand you a list of the best property websites in the UK that most people simply don't know about. So wherever you are watching from, Pakistan, Nigeria, India, Bangladesh, the Philippines, this video is made for you. Let's get into it. Let me paint you a picture. It's your first week in the UK. You land at the airport. You're exhausted. You've spent maybe £2,000 just getting here. And then you open Rightmove, or Spare Room, or whatever website a friend told you about. And you see it. Studio flats in London for £1,500 a month. Shared houses in Manchester for £800. And you think, wait, is this a mistake? Did I misread? No, you didn't misread. That's the reality of renting in major UK cities right now. But here's what the algorithm doesn't show you. Here's what the big city estate agents don't want you to know. There is an entire second UK out there. A UK where rents are human, where you can rent a furnished room in a shared house for £350 a month, where a whole studio flat costs less than £500. And this UK is not some rural wasteland. These are real cities, with universities, with international communities, with transport links and supermarkets and everything you need. The problem is that everyone follows the same path: London, Manchester, Birmingham, Edinburgh. And those cities are great, genuinely, but they were never designed for students on a tight budget. They are expensive by nature. And every year, thousands of students arrive in those cities, spend their entire savings on rent in the first 3 months, and then panic. So let's talk about what has actually changed in the market, and why right now is a very important moment to be paying attention. The UK housing market went through something wild in 2022 and 2023. Interest rates shot up, landlords started selling, renters panicked, and for a while it looked like things would just keep getting worse. But here's what's happening now, and this is the part that most people are missing. Shared housing has exploded. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it has become the dominant model. Students, young professionals, even people in their 30s. Everyone is moving into house shares. Why? Because it works. A property that would cost you £750 a month on your own suddenly costs you £250 if you split it with 3 people. That's not just cheaper. That is a different life. That is the difference between struggling every single month and actually being able to save money, eat properly, and enjoy your time in the UK. And studios, affordable studio flats, are making a comeback in a very specific type of city. Smaller cities, post-industrial cities, university towns that got overlooked during the property boom, places like Bradford, Stoke-on-Trent, Sunderland, Middlesbrough, Hull. Now I know, some of those names might not sound glamorous, but here is what they have: strong universities, decent transport, huge international student communities, and rents that will not destroy your bank account. Here at NestPath UK, we always say the same thing: Location is a tool, not a trophy. The question is not which city sounds the most impressive at a dinner party. The question is which city lets you actually finish your degree, build your career, and not go broke doing it. Now let's get into the numbers, because I know that's what you came here for. If you're an international student on a tight budget, let's say your housing allowance is somewhere between £300 and £500 a month. These are the cities you need to be looking at. Write these down or screenshot this right now, because this is real data from the current market. Bradford. Average room in a shared house, between £280 and £380 per month. Bradford has a large South Asian community, multiple universities, and it is just 9 minutes by train from Leeds. 9 minutes. So you get the affordability of Bradford with full access to Leeds whenever you need it. That is a cheat code. Stoke-on-Trent. Average room, between £250 and £350. Keele University and Staffordshire University are both here. Strong ceramics and design history. A very affordable city overall, and the Midlands location means you're within easy reach of Birmingham and Manchester. Sunderland. Average room, between £260 and £360. The University of Sunderland has a genuinely strong international student community, and the city is actively being redeveloped right now. There is serious investment coming in, which means this is also a city to watch from a property investment perspective. Hull, Kingston upon Hull, one of the most underrated student cities in England. Average room as low as £220 a month. Yes, 220. The University of Hull is ranked and accredited. The city is compact and walkable, and the people there are genuinely friendly to international communities. Middlesbrough, Coventry, Derby, Wolverhampton. All of these cities offer average shared room rates under £400. All of them have universities. All of them have international student populations. These are not compromised cities. These are strategic choices. Now I want to shift slightly and talk about something that is going to be very relevant if you are thinking longer term. If you are in the UK not just to study, but to settle, or if you have family members who are thinking about investing in UK property from abroad, then this part is critical, because the property landscape in those same affordable cities is also changing fast. In cities like Bradford, Sunderland, Stoke, and Hull, you can still find properties, full properties, not just rooms, listed between £50,000 and £150,000. Now I know what some of you are thinking. That sounds impossible if you're used to hearing about London prices. But these are real numbers. Terrace houses, 2-bedroom flats, properties with actual potential for rental income. The reason this matters for students, even students, is that some families back home are asking the right question. If my child is going to be in the UK for 3 or 4 years, why am I paying rent that disappears every month when I could be paying a mortgage that builds equity? And in certain affordable cities, on certain property types, that calculation is starting to make sense, especially with the post-2023 stabilization of interest rates. Speaking of which, mortgage updates. Let me give you the honest picture without the jargon. After the Bank of England pushed rates up aggressively, we saw a freeze in buyer activity. But as of 2024 and into 2025, rates have been gradually coming down. Fixed-rate 2-year deals from mainstream lenders have started appearing below 5% again for the first time in a couple of years. That is still higher than the ultra-low rates of 2020 and 2021, but it is meaningfully better than the 6% and 7% peaks we were seeing. For international buyers or UK residents who want to get on the ladder, the key thing to know right now is that deposit requirements remain high, typically around 20 to 25% for non-standard applicants. But in a city where a property costs £80,000, a 25% deposit is £20,000. That is a very different number from what you'd need in London or Edinburgh. I'm not a financial advisor, and I want to be clear about that. But the numbers in those affordable cities are the most interesting they have been in years. And NestPath UK will keep updating you as this market continues to evolve. Let's talk websites. because the biggest mistake most international students make before they even arrive in the UK is trusting only one or two websites. And usually, those websites are the most popular ones, which means they're also the most competitive and often the most expensive. Rightmove and Zoopla. Yes, you probably know these, but most people don't use them correctly. The trick is to filter aggressively, not just by price, but by property type, by date listed, and especially by looking at properties that have been on the market for over 30 days. Those are the listings where landlords are getting nervous and where there is room to negotiate. Spare room. This is the king of shared housing in the UK. It is free to search, the listings are updated constantly, and the filtering is excellent. You can search by city, by price, by whether the room is available for students, by whether bills are included. Bills included is huge, by the way. A room at £350 with bills included is often cheaper in real terms than a room at £300 with bills on top. Gumtree. Massively underused. Many private landlords who are not agencies list directly on Gumtree, which means lower fees, more flexibility, and sometimes much better prices than you'd find on the mainstream sites. Open Rent. This is a platform where landlords list directly to tenants, no agency in the middle, which means no agency fees, which, as anyone who has ever paid an agency fee in the UK knows, is a significant saving. Unilodgers and Student.com. These are specifically for student accommodation, purpose-built student housing, ensuite rooms, studio flats. They often have deals early in the year and they allow international bookings before you arrive, which can be a lifesaver if you're still in your home country trying to sort accommodation from afar. And finally, and this one is free and severely underestimated, your university's own accommodation portal and Facebook groups. Every university in the UK has student housing Facebook groups. They are full of students looking for housemates, landlords offering rooms, and people subletting mid-year. These groups move fast. Join them before you arrive. Before we wrap up, I want to give you the 3 things that will actually protect you when you are searching for housing in the UK, because there are scams. And they specifically target international students who are searching from abroad, who haven't seen the property, and who are anxious to secure something before they land. Never send money before you have signed a tenancy agreement, ever. If a landlord is asking for a deposit before any paperwork, that is a red flag. A legitimate landlord will give you a tenancy agreement first. Read it. If you don't understand something in it, ask NestPath UK in the comments. We help with this all the time. Always verify the landlord's right to rent the property. In the UK, landlords are legally required to prove they have the right to rent out the property. You can ask for a copy of their ownership document or their permission from their own mortgage lender to rent the property out. It sounds like a lot, but it's a standard request, and any genuine landlord will not hesitate to provide it. If you are viewing a property remotely, ask for a live video tour, not pre-recorded, live. Any landlord who refuses a live video tour of a property has something to hide. It takes 10 minutes and it can save you an enormous amount of stress and money. The UK housing system can feel complicated and intimidating, especially when you're navigating it from thousands of miles away. But it becomes much, much easier once you know the rules. And that is exactly what NestPath UK is here for. So let's bring this together. The UK student housing market is shifting. Shared apartments and affordable studio flats in strategic cities are now your best options for living well on a low budget. The cheapest cities, Bradford, Hull, Stoke, Sunderland, Middlesbrough, are not compromises. They are opportunities. Properties in the £50,000 to £150,000 range still exist in those cities, and the mortgage market is slowly, genuinely becoming more accessible again. And the platforms you need, Spare Room, Open Rent, Gumtree, your university groups, are all free. The students who thrive in the UK are not the ones with the biggest budgets. They are the ones with the best information. And you just got it. If this helped you, and I genuinely hope it did, smash the like button right now. It takes literally 1 second, and it helps NestPath UK reach more students who need exactly this kind of content. If you are new here, subscribe, because we post real, practical housing and property advice for international students every single week. And drop a comment below. Tell me which city you are heading to, or ask me anything about UK housing. I read every single comment. This has been Nespath UK. You've got this. I'll see you in the next one.